Good morning. Good happy Wednesday morning, I should say. And I'm Maggie Skafidas, and I'm here to talk to you about how I see God's love at work in the world around me. And when I first read that, the first thing I thought of, oh, God's word of works of love at my work. And then I read it again and thought, oh, it's probably meant for the bigger scope. But I'm going to tell you about my work where I see God's love, and then I'll go bigger. But I teach seventh graders, and remote learning with seventh graders is pretty hard. And the four other educators I work with definitely show God's love at work, working with these kids who don't understand how to handle a classroom with no physical plant. We talk them off the ledge a lot about how they're okay and they're fine. And that's truly God's love at work, at the world around me. But then there's my neighborhood, because I haven't gotten out much. There's my office and my neighborhood. And my neighbors have a Facebook page. And so we post things on there that are good for the neighbors. And one thing that we have is a community cupboard, like a little kitchen cabinet, if you will. And in that there was a mask, and there's toilet paper and some books. And the premise of it is to take something if you need it, and if you have an extra, to put something back in there, which is definitely God's love at work in my neighborhood, my world right now. There's also a gal who lives around the corner who's a retired Navy nurse, and her husband broke his femur and is back home, but they're older, probably my age. And they, and one day on Facebook, she just said, I'm just really nervous for some reason. And the neighbors all chimed in and said, do you want me to come and sit with you? Social distancing, of course. Or how about I come and sit with Ed and you go out and take a walk? That's so God's love right around us. The last thing is a couple things. We had a concert the other day, and the reason the lady volunteered to do it, but she asked for donations for a food bank, I think is what you call it, that she's doing for York Hospital. So she's feeding the first responders. God's table, food, definitely God's love. And the last thing we do, last night, John and I went out, and the neighborhood has decided that 7 o'clock on Mondays is when you go and you bang your pots and ring bells and do whatever for the first responders to support. And so that's what we did last night with the little kids across the street, and it was fun. It was just fun. And it was definitely God's love at work in my environment, my world. And the last thing I want to share with you, which was on last Sunday, John and I got to go down to see our daughter and her husband and the two boys, the two grand boys. Out of the four, the two are close, the boys are close. And they decided that I was safe. I'd been in quarantine long enough that I could be safe to hold those babies. And I got to hold Teddy, who's one. And Teddy is the snuggler. And he snuggled right into me, put his head on my shoulder, I'll cry, and fell asleep. And I thought, oh my gosh, if this isn't God's love in my presence right now, nothing else was. And it was soothing and calming, and the world was right. So right now, I know we feel like we're a milkweed pod that's burst open and spread us all these seeds all over the place, and we don't know where we're going to land. But trust me, there's God's love at work in your world, just like in all of our worlds. Just sit and look and think, because it's there. So stay healthy, stay safe, and have a lovely week. God's love.